Better Learning Network. Got your hand right.
Thank you so much for joining us here today on the first Thursday of the month. And you know what that means. It is the monthly networking meeting of the Westside Ministers Coalition monthly networking meeting. It's Thursday, May 7th. And this is our second virtual meeting due to COVID-19. And as you know, we usually start the meeting off with introductions, but since you know who I am and I know who you are, well, pretend I am anyway, you don't know the guest that I'm about to bring on. But the Westside Ministers Coalition monthly networking meeting is ran by the president of the organization, and that is Dr. Phalese Binion, who will be joining us shortly. But first, let me welcome you to the second virtual meeting. And we will be speaking today with Ms. Karen Morgan of Sankofa House on the west side of Chicago. It's at 4041 West Roosevelt Road. And today we'll be discussing the importance of your participation in the U.S. Census. Well, you may have thought that it doesn't count. You as a person, that doesn't count. Your family, because you know the organization, your community will get the amount of money that's allotted for it anyway. But I don't think that's true. So I'm going to introduce to you a woman who can give you in detail, step-by-step instructions and why it's important that you participate. So welcome to the podium, and that would be Karen Morgan of Sankofa House. Thank you for joining us today, Karen.
And thank you for having me.
And thank you for the wealth of information that you bring here to the Westside Ministers Coalition. So for those who are watching or listening, why is it important? We get the same thing in the mail every year, every 4 years, that tells us we need to participate. Why do we need to participate?
The importance of the United States Census will determine how much money is allotted for each community. And that money will be dispersed amongst education, economic development, housing, social services, food, as well as public health. And it also represents your public governmental representation. And I think that is all vitally important for our community.
Now, would you repeat those again? You said public housing and health.
Social services.
Housing.
Uh-huh. Political governmental representation.
Okay.
Education and food.
And food?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The WIC and your bridge cards and SNAP.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, food, because I just jotted all those down. And I think it's important because many people, I volunteer at several organizations, and one of those organizations is an organization on the West Side that gives out food monthly. And many of the participants come there. One of the questions that we have to ask them is, do they get food stamps? And many of them say yes, but many of them say, well, we only get like $15 a month in food stamps. So why does the government need to know more than they already know? Are they going to give me more money, more food stamps for my food? So what would you say to a question like that?
Well, what I'm telling you, you never know. You know, if you more are accounted for, then they'll know how much to allow them. So there's possibilities that you could get more if there's more added to your community. If the government doesn't know, then they don't know how much to allow.
That's a very good answer, because if they want more food stamps, then you got to give account to the people that's in the community. That makes sense. I never thought about it like that before. So if they don't have an accurate record of how many people are in that community and in that neighborhood, then, well,
they won't know what to distribute.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much for answering that. And the next one, you talk about public housing. There are so many people that are homeless nowadays. Are they counting the people who are homeless? And if so, how are they doing that?
But they have teams of people who are out on the street trying to make sure that everyone is counted, because there is $1,800 a year that is allotted to your state per person. And so when you're not counted, then you are not, that money is not given to the state so they can give back to the people. And remember, this is done every 10 years, every decade, they do the census. And a lot of times from the federal, we're undercounted, so we are losing resources, we're losing representatives as far as that's representing us federally, we're losing staff benefits, and even when they're going to school, we're wondering why there's not enough books and things like that in material. It's because the counts are low, and we got more kids in the school in your area than has been counted, and so then they have to lean on somebody else's $1,800, which means that you don't get the maximum benefit.
Oh.
So that's what's been happening. That's why it's been such a push to. I mean, we've been calling. I've been going to the food bank, making sure that it's done, but people don't really understand and realize how important it is. ISIS is not going to come to your door. I think it's the ICC. You don't have to worry about the IRS. It's not shared with them. It's not shared with FBI. This information will not be shared with landlords or child protective services. So you don't have to be afraid. And they just want to know how many people is in there. Because when it comes to the medical, when it comes to the food system, we need that money federally coming to our community. Mm-hmm. So if you're not counted, then there's no money. And so that's why there's a shortfall and why we're having some problems. It's because now those who are not being counted are coming in, and those who are being counted have to share their resources with those who are not.
Ah, excellent explanation. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. Because people are always saying, do they really need to know? Well, if you think about it, they really already know.
They already know.
Yeah. They already know. But
I'm Dr. Binion, Westside Minister School.
Yes.
I know we're doing it a little different today because normally I would start out and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. But we are really trying to get everyone counted. Be counted. It is so important because those are resources. Can you imagine taking $1,800 for the next 10 years? What is the total of $1,800 times 10?
180,000, yeah, 180 times 10, 180,000, right. That's not a lot.
When you're looking at how much money that you'll be getting, that's for you. Mm-hmm. So I don't care if you're a newborn, I don't care if you're 100 years old. These are still resources that are going to come into the community. And so we need you counted, and you want to be counted. And so this year, some people know the importance of it, some people don't. Even with the calling that we're doing, people, a lot of them say, I got it. And then you say, well, did you turn it in? And so then you get I'm going to. So then we say, then we'll call you back. And I'll see if you need any help. Mm-hmm. Or can you just go online now to my2020census.gov and just go on and fill it out? Because you can go right on your phone on the internet. You can go on the computer on the internet. And you just need to go to my2020census.gov. And you know what? Now remember, the census is offered in a lot of different languages, not just one language. So and there's a number that you can call, and if you call them, give you the number. They have a number that you can call, and if you call that number and need any help or need any assistance, if you have any questions, you can dial 1-844-330-2020. Once again, if you have any questions, you need any help, even if you need help completing it, you can dial 1-800-844-330-2020. And they'll give it to you, like I said, in many different languages. everyone must be counted, so we don't lose $1,800 per person. It is so important that you go online, or you mail it in, or if you need help. And even those of us who are calling in, we're calling in to serve you, we're calling in to help, because we know the importance of your $1,800 for the next 10 years, helping and assisting and increasing your quality of life.
And that's $1,800 per person per year for the next 10 years.
Year.
Gotcha.
Per year.
Okay. And go ahead.
I said, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's what the federal government will give on your behalf.
So that federal funding is crucial. So when the teachers are complaining about there's not enough books, that's one of the reasons why, because the parents aren't participating in the census.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense. I never looked at it like that. And you talked about social services as well. Social services such as, give us an example.
Emergency services, child welfare funding, the foster care, for the child care and developmental funds.
Wow, I never thought about that. Emergency room, child welfare and foster care. You don't think about that when that doesn't directly, or you think it doesn't directly affect you. But it affects us all indirectly because we are all one big global neighborhood, whether we know it or recognize it or not. Okay.
Right.
And health is important. When you said health, I was like, that should be a reason enough alone.
Exactly. Your Medicaid, Medicare, your child care, your CHIP.
Did you say the CHIP?
And your medical assistance program.
What did you say, the CHIP?
Right, that's certain programs that they have for seniors, certain programs that they have for moms, and certain programs that they have for children.
Okay. Because a lot of times when you walk past a place, you'll see a sign that says this such and such is accepted for children, such and such is accepted for moms, for mothers, single moms, things of that nature. Okay. Now, here's the one where some of our listeners and viewers may have a problem talking about politicians and government. You mentioned public housing, health, social services, education, food, and how does politicians and government play a role in this?
Okay, it lets you know about the number of seats for your House of Representatives. It also lets you know about your electoral vote and redistricting. And
many of us are not familiar with the House of Representatives. And what else was it that you said?
Your electoral votes.
Electoral votes. And we don't even know what that is until we found out about Trump. Then we got real interested in electoral votes. We got real interested all of a sudden. Now we want to become scholars. Yeah, so that's a mouthful. So anything else you would like to share with our viewing and listening audience?
I would like to say for everyone to go out and fill out those census. If you haven't done it, please do so.
And once again, that number for questions, you can call 1-844-330-2020. And the online website address is my2020census.gov.
Exactly.
And that census is spelled, because not everybody knows how to spell it, including me. I was like, okay, how do you spell census? C-E-N-S-U-S.
S-U-S.
My2020census.gov. If you just tuned in, you are listening to the head of the Westside Ministers Coalition monthly networking meeting. We're doing our second annual virtual meeting here in Chicago. with Dr. Phalese Binion, who's the president of the Westside Ministers Coalition. And her guest today is Karen Morgan from Sankofa House at 4041 West Roosevelt Road. And we're discussing why it is crucial. It's not important. It is crucial that you participate in the 2020 census. And for those who don't know why it's important, Karen, can you give us a summary for those who just may have joined in, why they need to do it and why they need to do it now as opposed to later? And what's the deadline? Is there a timeline?
The deadline has been set to June 30th.
June 30th?
Yeah.
June 30th. Well, that's a little bit over a month and a half away, but we don't, because time, it gets warm outside. We are not thinking about doing anything on the inside. So the time to do it is right now.
The time is right now.
Right here.
Stand up and be counted.
Right. Because.
Let us count on you.
Right. Because somebody may not make it till tomorrow.
That's right.
And if some of those people are in your family that are dependent on you and you didn't participate in the census, we don't know what's going to happen. So you might want to keep that in mind. So go to my2020census.gov. Dr. Binion, would you like to leave us with a closing thought? And Karen, if there's anything additional that you want to say to our viewers and listeners?
That doesn't be counted.
All right now. Dr. Binion?
I also wanted to share and told that education is very important because this $1,800 for the next 10 years will go for your kids' Pell Grant.
Oh.
Special education program, Head Start, Title I, which is a full, thing they have in the school for the grammar school kids, and the IDEA grant. So they have different grants. Also, one other thing that I thought was very important is that this goes for housing, goes to shelter. So they're wondering why we don't have enough shelters or enough money for shelters. It's because we're undercounted. If you're undercounted, when they come in and say, okay, we need money because we have projections of we're going to have these many people who might be homeless. If you're not counted, you're not in the projection. So if you're not in the projection, that funding is not there to accommodate if, God forbid, but if you need that support. And then it's also the Section 8 housing assistance payment program, low income home energy assistance, which is dealing with your utility bills. So this is crucial and vital for millions of people to just live.
I'm so glad you said that, Dr. Binion, especially for housing and energy assistance, because the other organization, why I'm always running out of there on every fourth Sunday because I have a meeting right after yours. And it's exactly what you just said. The organization where I go to, not on that day, but every other day during the week, they help people with their energy assistance. And sometimes seniors come in and they've waited too long because the money ran out.
Because of the undercount.
Yes. And that's exactly what they said, because it has not been counted. So if you know of some seniors that don't know how to fill out the census, or can't read or can't see because they need glasses, just like I do, I can't see nothing without my glasses. Help them. Don't try to embarrass them, but help them. Put your glasses on so that they can see, and help them fill it out, because everybody needs a little help now and then. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength.
With the pandemic going on, it's in the quarantine to a certain degree, we have not really been able to. But I also wanted to share that the Westside Ministers Coalition has a COVID-19 community task force. But one thing we're making sure is that they're going to be counted. If they're not, we're making sure that if they need to vote, we want to register them to vote. We're making sure that the seniors have the assistance and food brought to their homes if it's needed. The come in for seniors and youth to help them, because the problem that really God has put on my heart in watching parishioners and members of the coalition, so when they're at home with COVID-19, they say self-quarantine yourself. Okay, but who's gonna feed you?
Right.
Who's gonna take care of you?
Right.
So there's no one there to help them. So I got ComEd on board, people gas, NICOR on board. We got the Veterans Affairs on board. We've got reentry on board. We've got some of the elected officials on board. And so now we're dealing with trying to get them free internet. But then we got the one for the kids. Just talk with them. They're dealing with the iPads with the educational part, so to make sure these kids go off school and not giving the kids what they need. So they're out all these days with no way to even do their homework. And so I'm just gonna come here, but I'll share some up with you. You got seniors who can't go into the stimulus package because they don't have internet at home. So that was something else we are in the process of trying to see what we could do. And it's just a Westside Ministers Coalition partners and members. And we're coming together. And it's not, I didn't reach out to all those who want to come and be a part of. I have a list that I will be e-blasting out to the members, trying to see exactly who will be able to do what. We're going to make sure they're counted, because it's very important that they're counted, and it's very important that they vote. So we're trying to ease the need. We're wondering why in the Austin community the disparities are so high, because by the time they make it to the hospital, they're on ventilators, because first of all, they don't eat right. And I share with them that Meals on Wheels is fine, but they use fresh fruits and vegetables. So I'm connected with some food pantries over here in the Austin community that are also on board, who are willing to come in, and we're going to work on getting food to them. So we need the homemakers to come in, because these people, we're looking for soap, we're looking for detergent, and I'll share something else with you. When you're homebound like that, when you have, if your family's going to help you, they don't give them protective food. That's why those families are getting infected.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
We've been, God has, put some things on our heart. We've already had one meeting. We're going to reach out and have some more meetings. But we want to make sure that they're counted, because that $1,800 that's going to be on the census now needs to be used in their recovery and the medical aspect of it.
I'm glad you said that and clarified that, because a lot of times somebody that's hearing this, when you say $1,800 a year per person, they may think that they are going to get that $1,800 like the stimulus check that the president, number 45, sent out. But no, that is not what she's saying. She is saying that $1,800 per person in the family, in the neighborhood, in the community. That's the money that the government is going to give that particular community. So let the record show, because somebody will be promoting this on social media. Dr. Binion from the Westside Ministers Coalition said we had another $1,800 a month. No, that's not what she said. Let the record show. She said $1,800 per person per year, coming from the federal government to go to the communities in which we live. So I just thought I'd clear that up. And also, you talked about Comcast, seniors and students not having the internet available to them. And Comcast has worked out a new, well, I know it's Xfinity, but I still call them Comcast. I looked at them and I said, Comcast for $10 a month if you have a child? Are you serious? Giving it to you for 10 if you have children or a senior in the family. So that's the kind of information that you get when you attend the Westside Ministers Coalition monthly networking meeting. That is awesome.
You know what else? And one of the partnerships that we last night, that they're trying to get free broadband for
Okay.
They can call, sign the petition for free, and it's LaShawn, State Rep LaShawn Ford is working on that.
State Rep LaShawn Ford is always on it.
And they're working on that in regards to the broadband and putting it in so it will be free.
Awesome. 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 Awesome.
So I wanted to share with the members and as well about that as well.
Because that is too much information that's available out here for answers that we need. We don't have it because we don't have internet. And you can't go to the library. So you just do without. Oh, but you have your cell phone. But if you got that old flip phone, you need a smartphone. I hate to say it, but the flip phone ain't gonna do. You got to have a smartphone. If you want to go to Google or any social media, Facebook, Twitter, chat, Tumblr, LinkedIn, any of that, you need a smartphone. So I want to thank you for joining us this morning on the Westside Ministers Coalition second virtual meeting. And we have been speaking with Karen Morgan of Sankofa House, which is at 4041 West Roosevelt Road. And we're talking about the importance of the U.S. Census and your participation in it. We're going to close this out. I want to thank you so much for your participation this morning. And I'd like you to forward and share this to everybody you can so we can get the word out and understand why it's important that we go to my2020census.gov. All righty. Thank you so much for joining us. All right now. Go in there, get involved. All righty now. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, stay tuned to your next mindfulness moment on Zelda Speaks. And thanks for watching. Namaste.
Hi, we're from Empire, and you're watching the Higher Learning Network.
So how long have you been standing here?
Not too long, like an hour. So we're moving in fast. This is a good sign.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?